Okay, let's get started.
Ghosts are real. That much I know.
Hey horror freaks, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is the first time here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get a notification every single time that I post a video, and I post every single week. So you can see from the title, today's video is going to be my full review with spoilers of the Spanish horror movie El Orfanato, or in English, The Orphanage. Now, as always, all my reviews always spoilers. I do not do spoiler-free reviews for films that are already out. So I am sorry if you were looking for a review without spoilers. This will not be the video for you. But saying that disclaimer, let's get into the video. Now, El Orfanato follows a woman brings her family back to her childhood home, which used to be an orphanage for handicapped children. Before long, her son starts to communicate with an invisible new friend. This film is directed by Juan Antonio Garcia's Bayona and is produced by Guillermo del Toro. But I'm not gonna lie that for a while I thought that he was the director, but now he's the producer. But we can see his influence into the film. Now, to give a brief summary of the story, basically the film is going to follow Laura, that was an orphan, with her husband Carlos and their son Simon. Now, Simon was also adopted, but he has no idea, and he's also sick. But he doesn't know what he has, and he doesn't know that if he doesn't take some pills, he will die, because they lied to him. Essentially, the film opens with Laura being adopted in this orphanage, and then we are moved to the present when Laura, now as an adult, she wants to reopen the orphanage, but this time as a clinic for handicapped kids. And Simon is, of course, with her, and he's going to quickly develop some invisible friends, especially one being called Tomas. And at first, for Laura and Carlos, this is nothing out of the ordinary because this is something that has happened before. Simon starts to be really fixated to Tomas' figure. He starts playing some games to find some treasures, but he ends up finding the documents that state that he's sick and that he was adopted. Laura and Carlos take this as Simon just being curious because he heard the conversation that they had with a woman that appeared out of nowhere into the orphanage and started questioning Laura about Simon. And they take that as Simon just being curious. But of course, it gets deeper. Now, when they are about to open the orphanage or the clinic, Simon starts telling Laura that he wants to show her Tomas' house. But she doesn't want to go because she's focused on the party. So she slaps Simon because they have a fight. And Simon gets missing. She gets locked by a boy in the bathroom, a boy that we have never seen. But curiously, he has the same uniform as her at the beginning on the orphanage. But she doesn't realize this. Now, Simon gets lost and we have no idea where the hell he could be in, but it's revealed that the woman that appears out of nowhere into the orphanage and starts questioning Laura about Simon, he used to be Tomas' mother. Now, Laura claims that she doesn't remember her and she doesn't remember Tomas. And what happened was that he got some deformities and that's why he used a mask and he was kept away from the rest of the kids. Once she's adopted, for one reason or another, the other kids found him and they basically pushed him into a cave and they took out his mask and they were forcing him to get out. He didn't, so Tomas died. So what Laura saw was a ghost. And the kids, they were never charged because they were just playing and they were just kids. But Tomas' mother didn't took it that way. And 6 months later, Simon is missing. That woman gets killed by a truck in front of Laura, so she has no answers now. So Laura needs to get the answers on her own. She gets a medium into the orphanage because she claims that something supernatural is happening on the house because she starts hearing noises the same night that Simon gets missing. She hears something on the walls. And she claims that the kids are there and that something is out there and that could be the answer as to where is Simon. She plays once again the game of the treasure hunt, but this time alone. She finds the bodies of all the kids and basically the ones that were living with her because Thomas' mother killed them one by one. She killed them all, and since they were orphans, no one like went out for them. But Laura had no idea. So now we have bodies into the orphanage, and we have Laura that is at this point almost insane because she is so desperate to find Simon that she's willing to play the game and like make everything as before in order for the spirits of the kids help her. At this point, Carlos is like, I am done. I just want to move on. We may never see Simon again. But Laura is like, just give me one night. Just one more night. And if not, then I'm gone. And this is basically the ending of the film. Like the last 45 minutes, half hour, we could say, she arranges everything on the orphanage so that it looks like it was when she was a kid. She rearranges the rooms, she changed to the uniform of the orphanage, and she starts playing. At first, the kids and nothing happens, but eventually the ghosts of all the kids except from Tomas reappear. And they guide her into a wall and a closet. And this closet has another door hidden between the walls. And when she opens, it is a basement. Now, in this basement is where they used to keep Tomas. But instead, what do you think that she finds? She finds Simon. She finds Simon, but she starts hearing all these ghosts and everything. And she's like, close your eyes. And when everything's going to pass, we're going to be here again. It's such a beautiful moment. Until she realizes that her hands are empty. And when she turns around, she sees something on the ground. And this is when everything clicks. What she heard that first night that Simon got missing was Simon's body falling down the stairs. Because she accidentally trapped him into the closet. Because at some point when she's looking for him, she opens the closet. She sees some things that get out and she pushes them back in. She had no idea. Simon essentially gets trapped into the basement and he dies because he needed the pills. And she takes out the mask that was the one that Tomas used to use and is Simon's corpse. He has been there by 6 months. And the only thing that you can hear is Laura screams all around the house. It's such a sad scene and it gets even worse. Like this, it still breaks my heart to this day. She starts to get some pills and she gives like as a last wish because she found the treasure. You're supposed to ask for a wish or kind of a gift. She asks for being again with Simon. And she does. And Simon wakes up in her arms and all of the kids appear, including Tomas. And Simon told her like, now you're going to take care of us, and tells us a story. And the film ends with her, with all the kids around, like all the ghosts. Now she basically suicides. Like, of course, when you see it, it's more clear that she commits suicide with the pills. And like being with Simon is when she finally dies. And the film ends with Carlos into the same room. And the door opens, like letting him know that Laura is there with Simon, because they made a deal. Like, I'm going to give you this necklace and you're going to give him it back once you're again with Simon. And she takes out the necklace and she just leaves it on the floor. So when he takes it and the door opens, it's more than obvious that this is the way of her telling him, I am with Simon. Love it, the fact that they just leave it with more symbolisms and metaphors rather than actually showing us her corpse with Simon, because it was sad already. Now, the things that I like about this film. First, the story is a sad but beautiful ghost story. Now, it is a little bit scary by moments. All medium thing when she's trying to connect with the ghost of the kids, hella creepy. And when Laura finds the corpse, like, it's hella creepy because it's like, what the hell are those bones doing there? And also when Thomas' mothers get killed by the truck, her jaw gets all loose and hella creepy. But at the same time, it's beautiful. Like, the first time I saw this film, I was so sad because Tomas' story is very sad, and the whole story. And when you realizes what actually happened and that Simon has been dead all this time, and he was there, and that Tomas' house was that, it was the basement. So damn sad, but at the same time, it's beautiful. I really like the soundtrack. I think that it fits perfectly the story. I really like the soundtrack. Belen Rueda, she did a fantastic job as Laura. You can really feel how she's getting more and more desperate. Her screams is a scene that is so heartbreaking, but she's going to convince you. Her performance is very, very, very good. Simon also, and Tomas, although is for a brief moment, that actually the actor that does this is Oscar Casas, who is the younger brother of Mario Casas, that is a very popular Spanish actor. When I found out that, I was like, oh, who knew? Because we never really see his face until the very end. We actually see how Tomas actually look, and it's even more sad at the fact that he's now able to be himself without a mask, but he's dead, and it's sad. His death is kind of similar to Jason of Friday the 13th, basically pushed to the water, and there was no one there to supervise what happened. But it is very, very sad. The only difference is that Tomas didn't become a killer, but Jason did. But it's a very sad story. I really like the fact that they decide to rely more on symbolisms, metaphors, and foreshadows rather than being too explicit, because they could have done it that way. Like I said, they could have easily showed Laura's corpse with Simon, but no, instead they decided to use the necklace as the symbol and like the reassurance to Carlos that the deal was basically fulfilled. Like, she basically made the deal, like, I'm going to give you the necklace back, and I did, because I am with Simon now. I do not dislike anything about this film, being honest. For me, this film, it's brilliant, it's perfect, it's a great example of how good Spanish horror it is, because in my opinion, Spanish horror is very, very good. So for me, this one will be a 5 out of 5, a 10 out of 10. Like, me, this is one of the best Spanish horror movies ever made. And I know that maybe some people will disagree with me, but I'm not saying that it's the best one, but it's one of the best ones out there. That's for sure. And like, you can really see the influence of Guillermo del Toro into the film. Like, it's brilliant. I really love his work, like El Laberinto del Fauno, Pan's Labyrinth. Although that film is more dark fantasy rather than horror, oof, that film is brilliant. And he really knows how to do this dark fantasy / horror film. Very good at it. But well, basically I think that this is all for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you ever watched it, this one. What do you thought? If you haven't watched it, I would recommend it. Like, this is one of my favorite horror movies ever. Like, I truly love this film. It will be a recommendation of mine. I don't care like the situation, this one will always be a recommendation of mine. So if you have the chance to watch it, do it, because it's honestly very, very good. But well, I think that this has been all for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Ghosts are real. That much I know.